Yes. At the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim, the defendant on trial today. Okay then. The head waiter's business card. A sketch of the restaurant's layout is on the back. Can I examine this? The kitchen... Okay, so there's the entrance. Well, I think it was said before about how much the servant, like how much the waiter, not the servant, the waiter actually saw. But given the look of the kitchen over here, it would seem that from a certain angle you can actually see, like when it all happened. I guess we shall see. Magnifying glass. Whoa. Whoa, hello there. Magnifying glass. We're gonna be able to use this bad boy? Interesting. Can I examine some more stuff? Let me see. Oh, look at this. I don't know how much this is actually gonna help us right now, but... Actually, this could very well be used as a way of presenting evidence. Like, you choose magnifying glass, and then you choose which part of the screen you want to focus on. Like, present that piece of evidence right over here. I think that is what the magnifying glass is going to be used for here. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Get it? Because it's a sketch with black on white paper. Defendant Naruto. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I call this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who are present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Oh. And what lenient sentence would you expect out of this, Ryonosuke? Instead of a torturous torture that will last for weeks, would you want instant death instead, which would be less painful? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it. Professor Mikotowa said it. And so has the judge in the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust. You're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then the defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon their duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? I mean, this is what... I don't have any experience as a lawyer. You keep talking about this sort of stuff. Focus here, Ryonosuke. Focus here! The battle hasn't even begun yet. Ryonosuke. Yay! The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. Ooh. Spicy. I invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Yeah, you go, Kazuma. Indeed. Professor Ochi, please continue with proceedings. Now, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint. But I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that jump-struck young mouth of yours will be silenced. Forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. We're already moving to the next witness, even though we're not questioning this one. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. Multiple witnesses at once. This is actually new. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yeah, I guess so. This is actually the third table. Makes sense. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iesa Nosa, reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employee as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the essence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Kyuryo Korekuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day of the question. They must be the dinners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question. Always post-noon. And not infrequently, converse with interested parties regarding the cures with which I make my business. I can understand a word that old man is saying. Yeah, people around here sure seem to have, like, quite a vocabulary. He is an antique dealer. It sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques. and tries to sell his wares to them. He also targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with a rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, this sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantry over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. Huh? Noise. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. Also, yeah, get used to it, Ryunosuke. You're gonna be seeing like a lot of crazy people around here. I guess you know what they say. Crazy people are just as timeless as the court record. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Man, that is actually something poetic I just said there. I should probably write a book about this sort of stuff. The court record and the people of Nippon are the one and the same. They are part of the same coin. They are the sides of the coin. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw, at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir! Standing by... Okay, I heard that too. Standing by ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. Witness testimony. Man, what a way to start this adventure with 2 witnesses, not just 1. Man. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak in the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed... Okay, I heard that. What the hell was that? I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian. And from the back, the cowardly little weasel. From the back? I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously abscondent precious curio. The hell is abscondent? Whoa, so you, Sergeant Noza, actually witnessed the vital moment. He may have? It makes me question the testimony. You saw the split second when the defendant fired a weapon at the victim. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! Okay, I heard that again. Was that a baby? The hell was that sound? That wicked university cadet, sir. The crew... Also, I saw that. He had a knife there. That old guy right over there. Is he cutting something? The hell is he cutting there? Oh, I guess he's sheathing and unsheathing the knife there for some reason. The crew will never forgive our enemy. What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Kazuma! Yes, all I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Okay, so after you said hello to him, you went back to your table. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. When I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, just as I was picking it up. Bang! Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal in the scene somewhere. I see. It would seem that this is a case of pinning the crime on Ryunosuke. I mean, I guess it was to be expected. Somebody else put another gun there, so that when Ryunosuke would pick up the gun, and then somebody else shot it, people would look at where they heard the gunshot, and they would see Ryunosuke with a gun there. Therefore, people would think that Ryunosuke is the one who did it, because he had a gun in his hand, even though it was somebody else who did it from someone else. And somewhere in these 2 witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is. Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Okay, wait, what? Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. So, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare verdict of this trial. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? Ryunosuke, you're doing it wrong. This isn't class. This is a court of law. You're supposed to point your finger, not to raise your hand like that. I mean, the defense demands its right to cross-examination. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hajimaki handbed boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? Well, where else would you learn of such smart words from? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Yeah, you saw that, Ryunosuke? You're supposed to do it like that. Don't worry, you'll learn soon enough. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. Yeah, I mean, it's like written right there. Cross-examination. Wasn't it obvious to you, Ryunosuke? How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All we need to do is present some decisive and disputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then. It's all or nothing. Yeah, I mean, that was a nice try there, Ryunosuke. You need to give it a little bit more oomph. Yeah, don't worry. That desk right over there is gonna get the palming it deserves one day. I mean, what? I was adjusting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man.
Yes!
We can also press. What? Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then, this beefsteak you mentioned. What kind of food is that? Tension! Beefsteak is a delicious cut of veal, vigorously cooked on a cast iron griddle and served piping hot. Oh. Your food could receive medals of honor. I heard that again. That sounds like a baby. Sounds like a stock audio of a baby. Sounds like something I recognize. I think. Beefsteak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet. Right. I see. Thank you, sir. So, the next question. I really should pay attention whenever he is gonna punch. Like, right over there. This cutlet you mentioned. What kind of food is that? Dude! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. I'm trying to listen on the sound over here. Yeah, that is a baby. Is he hiding a baby behind his back with his other arm? Is that why he's sitting like that? You think that that's how crazy military people would stand in all situations? Yeah, he's actually holding a baby, isn't he? That's why he's holding that thing on him. That red thing over here on his chest. Like a scarf that wraps around the chest over here. He's holding a baby that way. Accept your guilty verdict. Atone for your crimes. And when you're released from prison, try it. Yes, sir. I will, sir. On the double, sir. Are you gonna have a sudden revelation that the baby is actually the one that did it? And another sudden twist would be that the baby is actually one of the smartest people in the world. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do my best. Yeah, this isn't a cooking court. This is a law of court. Or court of law. I probably should have phrased that a little better. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of crying? Negative! I heard it. I heard it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you the one making those sounds? Well, unless they learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. Yes! I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, Koban, boy. A Koban? You mean an old Edo coin? Koban. The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoei period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day, with said items secreted in my bosom pocket. Oh, do I really want to know about your bosom pocket? In the hope of an affluent cognoscent... Cognoscent? That's a word I never heard of before. Appraised of its indisputable value being present. So, you were hoping to sell your Koban coin? To Sergeant Nosa, whom you met at the restaurant? Yes. It's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious Koban. Isn't that so? Well... You little upstart cadet! You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination! Oh, I didn't say anything. Liar. You said a lot of things. Contempt the court. Get the fuck out of this court. Although penniless might be just the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about matters of business. The gentleman aside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect. I see. Okay, well, you know what? I do already know the answer to this. Like, I saw it like right even before the testimony. It's just that I'm pressing here because, you know, it's the beginning of the adventure and I want to see how things are going over here for comedic purposes and such. So, at the precise moment a firearm was discharged, I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. Yes! So, you're saying that you actually saw me at the time? Affirmative! I saw you. Laughing, cackling, like a madman as you trained the barrel of your gun on the English gentleman. But that's impossible. I only... Focus, Roanoske. Focus. Focus all your energy in those palms. And just slap that desk with all your might. Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it was? If that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired a gun. Yeah, that's right. In order for you to see the precise moment of the crime, that would mean that you would happen to look in that same direction when the gun was shot. Well, you said that you saw it after it was done, so technically it wasn't the precise moment. Arr! And double R! My sixth sense. Excuse me? My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, Cadet. Surely that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I'd have got where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Even seeing the soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. I mean, crazy as the argument sounds, it's not out of the realm of possibility in the sense that, well, sometimes there is this sense that you have where you can pick on something that is going to happen even before it actually happens. Like, you feel like somebody is behind you wanting to attack you. Now, whether you're actually gonna hear the sound of somebody approaching you from behind and attacking you or not, there is a sense that sometimes you would feel when something is about to happen. Like, for example, well, technically this isn't danger, but sometimes I was able to sense when somebody would actually like enter the house, that they will unlock the door to the house. I would sense like even before the door would be open, that somebody would approach the door and enter the house. It is that kind of feeling that I had sometimes. So, it's not like we can argue with this like anyway, it seems, This is not good. The black uniformed diversity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
Yes!
So this black uniformed university cadet, you're saying that was... Urgh. I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet. Of our sauce? Who else do you see around here in black uniform, Kazuma? Ridonosuke? Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well, but... It was you, you little weasel! You unloaded a firearm on that man. From behind his back. You call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me! What is it, Ridonosuke? He definitely sensed something. It's that sixth sense that I was talking about. I'm not quite sure. And something that the sergeant just said, and I cannot put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you're gathering in the court record. And if you find any inconsistency there with what the witness just said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court. Thrust it in the witness's face, and make him choke on it. Oh, Kazuma. Man, you can be wild. Okay, well, as I said, I already know what it is, but let me press on this guy as well. I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious Curio.
Yes!
Curio? On your hands and knees? Can you explain that, please? That's right. Spurning the arthritis, I was in order to retrieve... Spurning the arthritis, I was, in order to retrieve the lost piece. What lost piece are you referring to? Are we talking about a coin? The Kobata? The Koban, of course! The exquisite Hoiera Koban coin. I had just been showing the rare treasure to the military man as he masticated his meal. After averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, he was there no more. He simply vanished. Is that so? The koban vanished. Hence, I began to acquaint myself with the intricacies of the floor in order to locate it. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, I mean. None other than, though it was no concern of mine, I was frantically scouring the floor for the aforementioned lost treasure. So in fact, you didn't actually witness the precise moment when the incident occurred? Hold on, I'm sensing something weird over here. I am definitely sensing something weird. What if the motive for this crime was actually the coin? Makes me wonder. Because yeah, as Ryunosuke is questioning over here, he didn't witness the precise moment when the incident occurred because the old guy was actually looking for the coin on the floor. It makes me wonder. Maybe the military guy over here wanted that coin from the old guy. And, well, I guess technically maybe he wanted to steal it from the old guy. And in order to do that, maybe he wanted a little bit of a distraction. So he decided to put a gun like near the table of Wilson. Let somebody else like Ryunosuke pick up the gun. And when that happened, the soldier would actually shoot Wilson. And through that confusion going on, the old guy would actually go back up, like wanting to see what the hell just happened. And while that happened, the soldier would actually grab the coin from where it was, stealing that coin while under all that confusion. Because the old guy did say that the coin just vanished. Unless we know where that coin is, and that could be a motive. Even though that sounds like quite the weirdest plan the soldier had in order to steal that coin. To murder somebody that the soldier would not know? Just to get the coin? Just to distract the guy from... just to distract the old guy? In order to get the coin? Nah, there has to be something more... like, something more... connecting right over here. Something that will connect the dots a lot better. Indeed. Myself, I did not. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Listen, Ryunosuke. We know there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them. I understand that. The question is, how? Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you've collected. You can examine and present evidence while a witness is giving testimony by pressing E. Go through each witness statement and details about each piece of evidence, and compare all the facts. Somewhere in there, you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. A contradiction! An inconsistency. A contradiction! When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seems to contradict each other, present your evidence with R, and rip the witness apart. And bang on that desk as hard as you can, Ryunosuke, with all your might. Bang on the desk. Just be careful, because if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. And if you bang on the desk without tact, then you'll get a splinter. And if you're dealt too many penalties, the defense's case will fall apart, and you'll receive a guilty verdict. And if you get too many splinters, then you will bleed to death, just like Dr. Wilson. So that's it. Peruse the evidence in the court record, and find an inconsistency within the witness's statement, while you're still alive. Alright, I'll give it a try. I'm not that good with splinters. can hear the witness's statements over and over again, as many times as you like. So keep your head. He measured in your attack. Good luck, partner. Alright. Enough with the encouragement and such. I think that Ryunosuke knows what he's gonna have to do over here. So, he says that Ryunosuke over here fired on the English civilian from the back. However, right over here, it says that... Okay, so was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest, and the bullet did not pass through the victim's body. That would mean that... Well, first of all, somebody shot the victim through the front, not the back. Now, of course, this guy is gonna say that, oh, well, he would have been mistaken because the bullet went through, and thus there would be wounds on both the front and the back. But nah, the bullet did not pass through the victim's body. So even if you were to say that that was a mistake, because of where the wound was, there will be just one wound on the front, not on the back. So no way can you say that there would be like any attacks on the back, that he will be shot on the back, because there was nothing on the back to begin with, only in the front. So yep.
Yes!
Well, what are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting this wad of papers in my moustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this document possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say. The words just won't come out of my mouth. Focus, Ryunosuke. Focus. Focus your inner defense attorney. No. Focus your great inner ace attorney defense attorney. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. So frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. He couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Oh, that pose. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the post-mortem report presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Well, you never heard of a contradiction here, Ouchie? Is this your first time in court? Sergeant Ayase Nosa. I think it's Yesa Nosa. Yes, sir! What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on an English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
But no, that just cannot be. Ryunosuke. And why not, cadet? Because... As is clearly stated in a post-mortem report, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No accident. Bullet did not pass through the body. The photographic print of the victim clearly shows the same thing. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Exactly, not the back. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, The culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do we explain it? Oh, hey! Look at that. There's the baby. I knew it. I knew that there was a baby there. Why the hell is he even hiding a baby in the first place? Unless the baby is the culprit, just as I thought. What was that? Somebody just popped up from behind his back, but he put it down again. So, there's clear discrepancy with the facts here. Will you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge. Hey, look at that baby. My eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir. My eyes are just attracted to cute babies and such. I don't know, for some reason I've had like a craving for watching videos with fathers playing with babies, and that is like adorable as fuck. What? The last testimony the court heard was proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant A.k.a. Nosa, did not see the defendant fire a gun at all. That's absurd. Now, it does make me question about the baby. I was thinking before, I was thinking before that maybe the baby has something to do with this crime. A reason why the sergeant over here is hiding the baby. But if the sergeant is the culprit, then why would you bring your baby in the first place? If the baby is gonna be the thing that is gonna reveal yourself as the culprit. Unless the sergeant is not the culprit, and if they were to reveal, if the baby were to be revealed, then some people are gonna think that the sergeant is actually the culprit, but it's actually somebody else. The sergeant knows that he is innocent, but if they're gonna see the baby, then they're gonna think that he is the culprit, even though he is not. That would be an option over here. But, I don't know, I guess we shall see. But, I don't know, why would you hide it in the first place? Like, why would you bring the baby in the first place? Can you just leave the baby, like, back home? If you don't want people to think that? Whether you are the culprit or not? I don't know. It makes me question that. Why? Unless this is done for a plot twist where the sergeant is crazier than he looks. And the baby is gonna add to that. Who knows? I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Yeah! Look at that. And there's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. Yeah, you have a long ways to go, son. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back. Yes! But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot, eh? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Yeah, you were looking for your Koban coin, weren't you? Indeed, the prized Toyera Koban. Hunting around under the table, I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did! I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my abscondent Hoey treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? He said that he didn't. No. I see. The lamentable day. The precious Hoey Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. Oh. Apparently the old man is suspecting something here. Something that would seem pretty obvious at first glance. But, you know, I did bring up the idea of this guy being, like, the sergeant being the culprit, and maybe he did that to distract the old man, and thus he would be able to, like, to steal that coin while the old man was distracted. I had my doubts about that, and another idea here would be that this is a completely separate thing happening over here. The stealing of the coin, it's a completely separate thing that has nothing to do with the actual murder and such. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Aoshi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. Wolf? Am I supposed to worry about wolves and tigers in this court as well? My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Yurionosuke Naruhodo. But he really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signals to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there is something, or someone, peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Aido. It seems those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped up for the nanny. Aido. Tension! Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. Look at that. Alright then. Well, I guess that throws away that idea from before that he's hiding the baby for, like, weird reasons. Or maybe? I don't know, we shall see. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged. It's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign enemy. He was the young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out.